Let's take forward the conversation we had around TLDR phenomenon in the last episode. We explored how TLDR or too long didn't read became a defining feature of our digital age. Today, we are getting practical. We are going to answer the burning questions that keep content creators and marketers up at night. Is there still room for long form content? How do we balance depth with brevity? And most importantly, how do we adapt our strategies to thrive in a TLDR world? Let's dive in. Does the rise of TLDR kill long form content entirely? The short answer is no. While average attention spans have decreased, there's still a significant audience for in depth, comprehensive content. However, this audience has become more selective and their expectations have changed dramatically. The SEM Rush 2024 study confirms that articles over 1000 words tend to earn more backlinks and rank for broader keyword baskets, largely because they fulfill informational intent. Orbit Media study shows that an average blog post length is around 1400 words. They also found that blog length above 2000 words got better results. Podcast is one format that is known to be predominantly long form. Riverside estimates that the average length of a podcast ranges between 20 and 40 minutes. Not too long ago, using white papers and ebooks as a lead magnet was very popular because it had high conversion rates. It's still being used. However, according to some estimates, the conversion rates have dipped to around 7% in the past few years as compared to being upwards of 20% earlier. They continue to be a useful source for building first party data. What needs to be kept in mind is that neither this is about creating lengthier content nor is it about choosing between long form and short form content. It's about understanding when and how to use each format strategically. The readers who engage with long form content today are intentional consumers. They've already decided the topic deserves their attention. Your job is to make that investment of attention feel worthwhile at every step. The rise of TLDR marketing we talked about in the last episode and the trends we talked about earlier mean that successful long form content now requires an attention architecture. Content developed using the attention architecture will succeed when it's structured for scanners first and readers second, which means it should have clear descriptive headlines and subheadlines, bullet points and numbered lists, visual breaks every 150 to 200 words, and of course, TLDR summaries. If we go a level deeper, I think the pattern of successful long form content can be broken into four levels. We need to capture the attention of both scanners and readers. So, the first level has to have the hook. This is the most crucial part of the first 5 to 8 seconds of that attention span. Your headline, opening image, and the first sentence will determine whether someone stops scrolling or keeps moving. It needs to immediately communicate value and relevance. TLDR or summary must come in the next level. This will influence the next 15 to 20 seconds of the attention span. It can reach up to 30 seconds if your content is solid. This level will have your key takeaways and value proposition. This level serves people who want the core information quickly, but it also acts as a preview for those considering a deeper engagement. If the first two levels have captured and sustained the user attention, then the next level could push it to anywhere between 2 to 10 minutes. This substance level will contain your main content. It needs to be detailed enough to provide real value and structured enough to maintain attention. This serves your core audience who came for meaningful information. The last level is about deep dive. If your audience gets this far, then you have a reader interested in understanding what you have to say. They are seeking your perspective and would be willing to stick around beyond 10 minutes. This is where you could give comprehensive analysis, detailed case studies, and advanced strategies. This serves your most engaged audience and establishes your authority. If you look closely at the attention architecture and its levels, you will find that it also aligns with different stages of a typical funnel. What is important to remember is that all four levels should be present in your most important content. You're not choosing between shallow and deep, you're creating multiple entry points for different attention levels. Why? Well, because the intent of the user could be informational, transactional, or commercial. Depending on the quality of the content, it could move the reader down to bottom of the funnel. There's also a possibility that the user has been researching on the subject for a while and discovers your content with a middle of the funnel mindset. She could move from level 2 to 3 or 4 quickly. And how do we apply the attention architecture to your content for TLDR marketing across different platforms? Because what works on LinkedIn won't work on TikTok. Social platforms like TikTok and Instagram, Reels particularly, thrive on content under 60 seconds. But even here, successful creators often use techniques like hook, retain, deliver, where they promise valuable information upfront, maintain engagement, and deliver concise value. In other words, lead with conclusion, not the setup. Use the first comment on your post for additional context, which could include supplementary details, sources, disclaimers, or extended information that you could not include. Everyone knows that it is very important to master platform specific formats like carousels, threads, or stories. And always include a compelling hook in your caption. For blogs, start with an executive summary. Use descriptive subheadings as natural breakpoints. Include progress indicators for long reads. Many blogs show an estimated reading time upfront. It's a good way to guide scanners and readers. Make sure that you end with actionable takeaways. It gives the reader a sense of value. In case of videos and podcasts, despite short form growth, long form content still dominates watch time. The key is strong openings that clearly communicate value in the first 15 seconds. The first 3 seconds in particular are make or break. Use pattern interrupts every 15 to 20 seconds. Pattern interrupts are unexpected changes in your video that interrupt the viewer's mental pattern and force them to refocus. Our brains naturally tune out predictable, repetitive content, so pattern interrupts combat this tendency and helps in retaining attention. Include visual summaries or text overlays. Subtitles are a must now. Many people are used to watching videos online without turning on the audio. They read the subtitles especially when they are in a place where there are other people around. Create chapter markers for longer content. It helps users to skip to specific sections and helps your content appear in online searches better. Recently, Microsoft published a study that showed that an average professional receives about 116 emails daily. What this means is that if you're using email marketing to send out newsletters, TLDR summaries at the top have become essential. Newsletters or email campaigns, your subject line becomes your TLDR for the entire email in a way. Well crafted subject lines have been known to increase the open rates. Then, the first sentence of the email should deliver immediate value. Many email clients display the preview text or pre-header text within the inbox. It should be used strategically. I'll now share 5 do's and don'ts of TLDR marketing so that you are on point with your implementation. Your TLDR should be a genuine distillation, not a lazy afterthought. Your summary should capture the essence and value, not just repeat the introduction. Instead of just summarizing what you discussed, focus on what the reader can do with the information. Turn the insights into next steps. Use the TLDR as an effective quality check for your content. If you can't write a compelling summary of your content, it might not be compelling content at all. Use the summary process to identify and strengthen weak spots. Experiment with visual formats. Infographics, charts, and visual summaries can communicate complex information faster than text alone. Now that AI is multimodal, visual TLDR could really tilt things in your favor. If your long form content is catering to multiple audiences, use different TLDR for different audience segments. The first don't would be not to use it as an excuse for lazy writing. Brevity requires skill. Semantic density is about packing maximum meaning into minimal words, which signals authority and efficiency to your audience. Your content summary should not be so comprehensive that it leaves no reason to go through the content. It should grab the attention and body of the content should retain it. I think a very important don't is to not use it as a replacement for long form content. Both serve important purposes and different audience needs. Short summaries are an effective tool for online discovery, especially AIOs. Optimize TLDR to be discoverable and keyword relevant. And last but not the least, don't assume that TLDR means dumbed down. Concise doesn't mean simple. You can communicate sophisticated ideas briefly too. How do you measure success when you're creating content for different attention levels? Traditional metrics like time on page become less meaningful when you're intentionally helping people consume content quickly. Measure engagement depth. Track not just initial engagement but progression through your content layers. Are people moving from TLDR to full content? Are they taking suggested actions? It is also useful to measure return on engagement. It will help understand if people who consume your TLDR content come back for more detailed content later. While GA4 doesn't provide a pre-built report that directly compares new versus returning users' behavior, you can create custom segments in the Explore section to analyze and compare these groups. Measuring action completion is very important. It is an indicator of how effective the content has been in persuading the user to perform the desired action, like download or sign up. Shareability of the content is another important KPI in today's digital marketing. Are people sharing your TLDR or your full content? Both have value, but they indicate different types of engagement. TLDR is often shared as screenshots or copy paste on social media. Platforms like Instagram and LinkedIn allow for reposts. Using native platform analytics or social listening tools can help measure shareability. The TLDR trend means people appreciate brevity, but they still need depth. As a content creator, you should meet them halfway. Write long form content when it adds value, but always wrap it in an easy to digest package. Give readers a quick summary upfront, but also guide them through the details if they choose. The growing popularity of TLDR is an opportunity for marketers to show that they appreciate customers' time and attention. They do so by giving them what they want at first glance, but also giving depth if they are interested. This balanced approach will help both short and long form content succeed in reaching your audience. AI and machine learning are already beginning to personalize TLDR experiences. LinkedIn's show more or show less feature uses engagement data to determine how much content to show initially. YouTube's chapter detection uses AI to automatically create timestamps for videos. Medium's reading time estimates helps users decide if they have time to read based on their context. Going forward, we can expect AI to summarize content that shows technical details to experts but simplified explanations to beginners, or provide time based adaptation of the content. A 30-second version if you're rushing, a 5-minute version if you have more time. Context aware summaries are also possible. You'll get different summaries if you're on mobile during commute versus desktop at work. In the voice space, apps like Headliner or Veed can create short audio clips from longer podcast episodes. Voice assistants like Alexa can provide audio TLDR of current events. Newsletter platforms like Beehive can help with making audio versions of their written TLDR summaries. All the content and technologies need to align with the ever changing user behavior and culture. People are becoming more intentional about how they consume information, similar to how people became more conscious about their diet or physical health. Digital detox is becoming a sort of a movement. People are intentionally taking breaks from social media and carving out phone free time. Apple devices have the screen time feature, and there's digital well being on Android. Moreover, people are curating their consumption patterns too. They are unsubscribing from newsletters and unfollowing accounts that don't add value. There are people advocating the concept of slow content that focuses on quality and value over quantity and shrillness. People are turning off notifications to deal with FOMO. Some are choosing long form content when they have dedicated time versus accepting quick summaries when multitasking. They are valuing content that teaches actionable skills over pure entertainment. There is also a preference for seeking content from trusted sources rather than consuming everything. TLDR isn't just about shorter attention spans. It's about the evolution of human information processing in response to unprecedented information abundance. The brands who succeed in the coming years will be those who master the art of layered communication, delivering immediate value while creating pathways to deeper engagement for those who want it. In this attention economy, clarity is your competitive advantage. TLDR for this 2 episode series. Attention spans are shrinking, but the need for quality information remains. Success belongs to those who can deliver value at multiple attention levels, respect their audience's time, and create content that works whether someone has 8 seconds or 8 minutes to spare. Thanks for joining me for this exploration of the TLDR phenomenon. Make sure you subscribe and share your views in the comment section. I'll talk to you in the next episode.